Hello, my name is Dr. Yolanda Vasquez-Salgado, and I'm the lead investigator on the project that you have recently agreed to take part in. Thank you so much for your participation. Your participation will enable us to understand how students experience the transition to college and the role that it has on students' health. One of the components of our study involves the collection of saliva across 2 consecutive weekdays. On each of those days, you will collect 4 saliva samples. On day 1, you will collect your first sample right when you wake up, and your next sample 30 minutes later. You will then collect an additional sample at 4 p.m. and your final sample right before you go to bed. On day 2, you will repeat this same exact process. At the end of both days, you will have collected a total of 8 saliva samples. Collecting these samples at the specified times is very important for our research because it will enable us to understand how cortisol, the stress hormone in our bodies, typically flows to students' bodily systems over the course of a typical day. In a moment, we will provide you with some important guidelines to keep in mind as you collect your saliva samples. Thank you again for your participation.
In this demonstration video, we will demonstrate the process of collecting a saliva sample. Although you will be collecting a total of 8 salivate samples over the course of 2 consecutive days, it is important that you keep in mind that the collection of each sample should follow the same process shown in the video. Each day will include 4 samples, one that takes place immediately upon wake time, one 30 minutes after your wake time, another at 4 p.m., and the final sample before bedtime. Before beginning the collection, you must pay careful attention to the important guidelines given. Prior to starting your collection of the 2 first morning samples, please do not brush your teeth, eat or drink, and for the following samples of the day, you must also refrain from eating, chewing gum, drinking or smoking at least 30 minutes before taking each sample. Make sure to also remove any lipstick or chapstick as well. It is important to follow these guidelines in order to prevent contamination. Please have the following items ready: a pen, timer, the 8 salivates, the plastic bags provided, the salivate timesheet log, and the mini cooler pouch. Please be sure to select the appropriate salivate sample according to the time of day. Refer to your salivate timesheet log to make sure you are choosing the correct one. The first step is to set your timer to 2 minutes. This will be the amount of time needed to keep the swab inside your mouth. Hold the salivate in one hand and pop off the cap with your thumb. Place the swab directly under your tongue without touching it with your hands. Now that the swab is in your mouth, you may press start on your timer. While the swab is under your tongue, try to imagine a tasty food and move your jaw in an up and down chewing motion. This will aid you in producing more saliva. However, please do not chew on the swab or allow it to move out from under your tongue. Once the 2 minutes have passed, use your tongue to direct the swab back into the smaller top tube of the salivate without touching it with your hands, and close it securely with the blue cap. After collecting each sample, you must note the time and day that each was taken using the salivate timesheet log. Now that you have collected and noted your sample, place it inside the larger Ziploc bag that you were provided and put it inside the refrigerator. You must also repeat this process every time you collect your samples. By the end of the day, your salivate timesheet log should look similar to this. If you are unable to collect the samples at the specified times, please collect it as close to the times as possible. Please note that all saliva samples should be treated as perishables. To help you with this, we are providing you with a mini cooler pouch that you can carry with you if you don't have access to a refrigerator. However, if you do decide to use the mini cooler pouch during the day, please make sure to place a sample in the refrigerator with your other samples as soon as possible. In addition to collecting the saliva samples, there are 2 assessments you must complete per day. The morning assessment must be completed after the first morning sample, and the evening assessment before the bedtime sample. Now that you are familiar with day 1 of collection, you must repeat the same process for day 2. Once the 2 days are completed, please make sure to return the following items for your in-person session: the 8 samples, the timesheet log, and the completed assessments. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to contact us at chdlab@csun.edu. Thank you for taking the time to participate in our study. Your participation is very valuable to us.